All right, what's going on, y'all? Let me get straight right into it. All right, this video here is just about what I think these fighters need to do. A lot of these fighters on the come up. All right, even fighters that's relevant right now. Today is a different sport, and some people are gonna get opportunities faster than other fighters. Some fighters are like Mayweather promotion fighters. All right, we had a Mayweather Promotions card not too long ago, right, where J. Leon Love lost his fight. Badu Jack made his comeback return to his knockout loss. I believe this was his first fight back, and first or second, I'm not sure. But anyway, a lot of people feel that the Floyd Mayweather promotion fighters are getting opportunities that other fighters that they feel are better don't get. Okay, basically they're saying the Floyd Mayweather fighters don't deserve to get their own card recently. Okay, a lot of fans feel that way, and all right, I mean, that's debatable whether you believe that's true or not. It's a debatable thing, I mean, I don't think they're super talented. I don't think anyone on the Floyd's card or Floyd's fighters are super talented. I do like Mickey Bay a lot. I am a fan of J. Leon Love more so now because I think he showed a lot of heart in that Paraban fight, and he came back and won. I have no problems with his fighters whatsoever. I mean, I think people expect a lot from them because they are signed under Floyd, right? But as far as their skills concerned, like, I don't think any of them are like super talented, like the next big thing in boxing. I don't think any of them are. All right. But anyway, a lot of fighters don't get the opportunities that those guys get. A lot of guys gotta work a lot harder and pave their way before they get their big shots. Okay, before they get the big money fights. And I was listening to a video, an interview with Carcino. When Carcino, shout out to him, he did an interview with Demetrius Andrade recently. All right, and I was kind of shocked at the interview because we thought the Jermell Charlo fight was next, and come to find out that it's not. According to Demetrius Andrade, they haven't signed for the fight yet. The fight is not official yet. Okay, I thought it was set for the December 13th, and he's going to be on the card with the several other fights, several other big fights on Showtime. But according to Andrade, the fight is not set in stone yet. But another thing I was surprised in this interview about was the fact that Andrade doesn't really seem interested in fighting Jermell Charlo. Okay, I was shocked to hear that from him because I've seen interviews where he's called out Charlo, he's called out Lara, he's called out Canelo, he's called out Cotto. Okay, I've seen him in interviews calling out the best fighters at 154. Okay, not just Floyd and Canelo, but everybody else. I've seen him do that, and I've seen him do it since he won the WBO title last year against Vanes Martirosyan. I've seen him do it, and I was shocked to hear this because I'm not saying that he has an issue. There's something wrong with him finding a K9. K9 just won the IBF title against Carlos Molina. I have no problems with that. But I was shocked to hear that he seemed like he was not interested in Charlo. Like, Charlo is not big enough for him. Okay, and I don't want to only speak for myself, but I think the fight makes sense. But he wants bigger opportunities, and every fighter does want bigger opportunities. But Demetrius Andrade is not one of those fighters that is at the throne. He did win the title against Vanes Martirosyan, but he won the title. The title was vacant. You get what I'm saying? The title was a vacant title, and you and Vanes are two up-and-coming guys, and I still believe they're two up-and-coming guys because a lot of people don't know who Andrade is yet. A lot of people don't know who Martirosyan is yet. A lot of people don't know who the Charlo twins yet. People are just now like figuring out who Lara is. So I think these fighters nowadays just want to get straight to the top right away. They want their big shots so fast, and they're not trying to beat everybody else and the top of the fighters. They're not trying to do that. They just want a big shot big payday right away. And I just recently made a video about Demetrius Andrade and the Matt Carball thing. I mean, the WBO wanted him to fight Matt Carball for the title at 160. And he turned it down because he wasn't getting the amount of money that Peter Quillen was getting to fight Matt Carball. And he turned that fight down. And me personally, being that he didn't have any fights scheduled, I thought he should have taken that fight because it would give him more leverage. You know, you got a title at 160 and at 154. You're not a fighter that people are rushing to fight, okay? I wouldn't say you're highly ducked, but you're not, you know, everyone wants to fight Canelo at 154, okay? At 160, everyone kind of want to fight Cotto, you know, and Chavez Jr. Well, he's not 160 anymore, but no one wants to fight Golovkin, and no one really wants to fight you at 154. So I think you would have had more leverage if you had a title in both divisions, because you can definitely fight at both divisions. And I thought he should have probably taken that fight because I think he would have been favored to beat Korobov, all right? But that would have been a competitive fight. Now, shout out to Natty Turner on YouTube. He's been putting out straight fire lately. Like his videos lately, I just want to hear videos of guys that's boxing fans just talk and zone out. I just want to zone out to a video. I like the 15-20 minute long videos because I like to hear the boxing fans out there on YouTube just zone out and talk, because I usually feel what they're saying, even if I disagree. It's just a good listen. So shout out to him and shout out to everybody else on YouTube. He made a great video discussing this, and it was called the microwave era of boxing, right? And he's basically disappointed with Andrade too. I don't have no problem with him wanting to fight K9, because K9, he wants to unify the titles, and I'm all about fighters willing to unify the titles. But the direction Andrade is going, he made it seem like he's bigger than Charlo, and I disagree with him. Okay, Charlo is either the number 2 or the number 3 ranked fighter in all of the organizations, and I feel like they're still on the same level. As far as fame, as far as name, they're still on the same level. All right, and Charlo is a top 5 fighter at this point in the division. Okay, he is. He's ranked high, and he's undefeated. And you knock him off, you don't know how great this kid can be. You knock him, you get him out of the way, he could come to go and beat a lot of other fighters. What if he gets the Canelo fight before you? You don't know what possibilities that might come of this. So he was making it seem like, you know, I don't really, you know, I think there's a few things they seem to be upset. He seemed like he wanted to be the A side. Like, I'm the champion. Why do I have to go over to Showtime and fight Charlo on Showtime? And Charlo's an Al Heyman fighter. And what if I get robbed? You know, that's just not the attitude of a champion, in my opinion. It's just not, you know, because as close to the fight, I think this fight can go either way. Because I love these two fighters. You guys know I make these videos on these two guys. Charlo's, Andrade, Canelo, Lara. I feel like the junior middleweight division is the triangle effect division. I don't think there's anyone in the division that reigns superior over anyone. Not until they actually fight. I think everybody got a shot at beating everyone. You know, Canelo has been winning, but his fights has been very debatable. Austin Trout, throw him in there too. Okay, I think this is the division of the triangle effect. I don't think anyone reigns supreme over any other fighter. And this is why this is probably my favorite division. And I always make videos on this particular division. And I feel like the guys haven't been fighting each other. You got Julian J. Rock Williams. Okay, he's on the come up too. He's inching up. And then you got Jamal, the other twin. And I feel like until you get that big fight, you need to eliminate all the competition. Don't leave no room for competition. Don't leave no room for anyone. Until you get your big fight, sometimes it's going to take longer for you to get it then other fighters are gonna get it. Some other fighters are gonna get opportunities before. Everybody says Canelo did, but Canelo, at the same time, Canelo, when he fought Floyd, the dude already had over 40 fights, 40 wins. Canelo is gonna retire, has a good shot at retiring with over 70 fights under his belt. 70, 80 fights at the pace that he's going. He's still in his early mid-20s. And he's already got over 40 fights. He got like 46 wins or 45 wins or something. I don't know, but he's up there. He's already up there with one loss. You know, all these other guys are just barely cracking 20 fights. So say what you want about Canelo, at least the guy started professionally young, and he's been fighting professionally for a long time, and he's got his wins up there. Everybody else is barely cracking 20. Yeah, guys like Lara fought the harder fights coming up. You know, when Lara had fights, a number of fights in the teens, he was already top fighters at 154. Okay, Lara fought better fighters than everyone in the division, and this is why he has his losses, which were debatable. He has his draws, and you know, he has his wins. But I wasn't really feeling the whole Andrade, you know, saying that, who has Charlo fought? Well, who have you fought? You beat Vanes Martirosyan for a vacant title. You didn't beat the champ. When you think 154, when you think the junior middleweight division in the last couple of years, the last few years, what champs you think of? You think of Canelo. You think of Floyd. You think of Miguel Cotto. You think of Ishe Smith, Bunridge, Carlos Molina. The title was, I don't even know who had the title at the WBO title. We don't even know. The title was vacant, and you got a shot against Vanes Martirosyan, a guy that's on the come up too. Now, if Jermall Charlo fought Carlos Molina and beat him earlier this year, he would have been the IBF champion now. Okay, he would have been IBF. He's still on the come up. He's still on the come up. It's not like he's sitting at the throne and I'm the champ now. Let's still, no, not everybody gets that, even as a champ today. There's champions that no one ever heard of. Nobody knew who Sam Solomon was when he beat Felix Sturm. But all over a sudden, when he wins, he's in the mix. But he's not like sitting at the throne where like I could fall back. Everybody has been following Mayweather's everybody's being like, everybody thinks they're Floyd or want to be Floyd, where they can sit back and pick whatever fights they want to pick without putting in the work that Floyd Mayweather put in. You could like Floyd or not, regardless if you think he's good and he's overrated and he's ducking people, yo, at least the dude put in his work. At least he's been putting in his work. Okay, I was listening to a video of The Wire. Shout out to The Wire. I was listening to a video of him recently, where he was discussing James DeGale and Marco Antonio Paraban. He was discussing that fight, and he was saying how that fight, you know, he wants the Froch fight so bad, but stylistically, he thinks the Paraban fight is a bad decision for him. And I'm watching the video, and you know what? It's not a tune-up fight. It is a legit fight. It is a real fight to me. I agree with him on that standpoint. But if you want a shot at Froch and you can't beat Paraban, you shouldn't get a shot at Froch. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even get a shot at Froch. So I respect James DeGale for taking this fight, because if you take this fight and you beat him, and you beat him impressive. Paraban gave a tough fight to Bika, gave a tough fight with Jay Leon Love, gave a tough fight to Badu Jack. If you go in there and you beat him clearly, no debating, you beat him and you either knock him out or destroy him for 12 rounds or whatever, you will be respected by the real boxing fans. They're gonna respect that win. Instead of you taking a tune-up fight because you think a quick, easy journeyman fight, because you think you're going to get the shot at Froch and you want to mess up your opportunities. See what happened with Amir Khan by passing on the Devin Alexander fight last year to get at Floyd. People didn't respect it. So now he got set back a whole year because of that. So I respect, I respect The Wire. His knowledge is beyond just about everybody here, him and I would never question his knowledge, but when it comes to that fight, it is a good fight. It is a respectable fight, because you beat a guy like Paraban and you look impressive doing it. You should get a fight at Fraj. You know, you beat Gonzalez. I didn't even know who was gonna win that fight. I didn't even know. I didn't even do a video on that fight because I was unsure or who's gonna win that fight. You know, you beat guys like this. You keep beating the best guys, the top 10, the top 20 guys in your division. Keep eliminate all of them. These young fighters, that's what they need to do. I respect Triple G. You know why I respect him? Because even though he's not getting the super big fights that he won, even though he hasn't fought Chavez yet, or he didn't fight Sergio Martinez before he lost to Cotto, even though he didn't lose those guys, he still eliminated. I'm fighting 4 times a year, and I'm eliminating everybody that these guys had tough fights with. I hope he fight Martin Murray next, because Martin Murray been talking a lot, and Martin Murray, a lot of people thought Martin Murray won the fight against Sergio Martinez, which he probably did, but everybody, you know, Sergio Martinez didn't look good in that fight. So if Triple G fights him, beats him, knocks him out, then you know what, you're just cleaning out the division. Clean it out. Peter Quillin don't want to fight, or the fight with Peter Quillin is not happening. Clean everybody else out. Clean it out. Same thing with Keith Thurman. You want your shot at Floyd? You're not getting your shot at Floyd. You ain't getting your shot at another top 5, top 10 fighter. Clean everything out until none of these fighters have any more room left to run. Don't take shortcuts. You take shortcuts and you're picky too early in the game, you're going to be sitting around waiting for a fight and not get a shot. You're going to be unbusy, okay? And you're going to go years without getting shots. Look what happened to Gary Russell Jr. Look what happened to him. He was fighting nothing but journeymen all his career, didn't fight anyone relevant or even close to it. And then he's not even active at the same time. He's having injuries. You know, he's having fights because he wants this fight with was it Johnny Gonzalez, or you know, he's not getting the fights he's won, and he's just sitting around, and he's either injured or he's sitting around. He's not getting fights. And you know what? He finally gets a real fight with Lomachenko, a guy that's on the come up, and he loses. So now what? It's a setback, a waste of time. A waste of time. You know what? Stay busy, eliminate everybody, and don't make it where it's debatable. Make it where, you know what, now the champions have nowhere to run. I like Demetrius Andrade a lot. I love that dude. You know, I like him. I love him, Charlo, all these guys that went, Canelo, Lara. You know, Lara's my dude. All these dudes, I liked all of these guys, all these young fighters at 154. But they have to fight each other at some point. You want to unify the titles? Your opportunity will be there if you think you're the best. If you think you could beat anyone in the division, which Andre thinks he could, do it do it to a point where, all right, you know what? These guys won't have any more places to run. Okay? The organizations, they will make the fights mandatory if you keep winning and keep beating everyone. Sometimes it takes other certain fighters longer to get to that point. If that fighter that you've been dreaming of fight finally retires, all right, then you become the man. You become the man. But you got to win the fights. You got to take the fights. You got to do it until your shot comes. You got to keep fighting. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen now, because K9, what if K9 doesn't want to fight you? Then that's another setback. You fought Brian. You had one title defense. You had one title defense this whole year since you won against Vadas Martirosyan. All right? You had one defense. And then it's against a guy that no one really knows. No one was looking for that fight against Brian. No disrespect to Brian Rose, but nobody wanted to see that fight. Jermell Charlo, this is a fight that a lot of fans want to see. A lot of fans want to see a fight between Lara or one of the Charlo twins. A lot of people want to see it. Not just me. I mean, you know, I definitely want to see it. But there's people that want to see the fight. I want to see who's better between the Charlos, either one of them, and Andre. The Charlos are not going to fight Lara. So I want to see who's better. I want to see if Andre could beat Lara. I know he lost to him in the amateurs. I want to see if he can beat him today. So I think these fighters need to wake up, man. These young fighters, they need to wake up. You need to beat everybody. Everybody. Don't leave no more room for debate on who's the best in the division. J-Rock Williams, him too. Throw him in the mix too. If you haven't seen him fight, look up his fight. Golden Boy and Showtime, they putting all these fellas on the same card. They all recently fought together. Jamal Charlo fought. Julian J-Rock Williams fought. All right. If K9 don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, and you sitting there, you know, all right. He said the fight with Charlo is not official. No one signed a contract or anything like that. If that's true, fine. Okay. But you sounding like you just didn't want to take the fight altogether. But you've called out the Charlo twins. I've seen you do it more than once. They called you out. People want to see it. And this is after you won the title. I've seen you call out the Charlo twins. So now it was crazy for me to hear you say like, nah, but who did they beat? Y'all record is identical to me. And shout out to Jamal Charlo, the other twin, because he's knocking out Jamal Charlo is doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Whoever's out there, they're not putting him against the best, but he's knocking them all out. Everybody. All those guys they put in, their journeymen and everything, they might be bums, but he's fighting. Well, he fought like 7 times last year. He's fighting enough and he's knocking them all out. At some point, they got to make the fight. They almost did it with Carlos Molina. The opportunity, he missed the opportunity. The next opportunity is going to come up. Just keep moving up in the rankings. Just like Jamel did. Now Jamel's at the top. Now they trying to get him to fight with Andre. If that falls through, there'll be another opportunity. Maybe next year. You know, maybe he'll fight somebody else. Who knows? But the opportunities will come if you keep winning. All right? James DeGale, fight Paraban, fight whoever you got to fight at 154. You want to fight with Froch real bad? If you can't beat Paraban, you shouldn't get the fight with Froch. Go after George Groves. Try to get that rematch. I don't know if Groves will want that, but get that fight. Paraban would be a tough fight, but you know what? If you beat him, and listen, this is the guy, I was just talking about Mayweather Promotions. He gave a tough fight to the Mayweather fighters. I'm going to go in there and knock him out. You know, now we see who's the real best fighters at 168. Put him in a ring with a good fighter like Paraban, and you look impressive beating him. Then you should be. I'm not even saying that. Even that fight doesn't really earn you to fight with Froch. You know, Froch beat so many people. Froch beat so many people, man. He's beaten undefeated fighters, and he's knocked out some of them. He put in his work. He doesn't have to give James DeGale the fight. We want to see the fight. But Dwight was saying, you know, I think, you know, Froch, Paraban is a tougher fight stylistically for James DeGale. I really don't. I disagree with that. All right. Froch beat fighters that were the better quote unquote boxer. Okay. He's beating fighters that had the athleticism advantage over him. Carl Froch is like, he has the clutch. He's like the Kobe Bryant of boxing when it comes to being a clutch fighter. Because if he's losing, he's gonna figure it out. Not too many fighters could do that. He's going to figure you out by the end. All right, and he's gonna use that power and he's gonna knock you out. We seen it. I don't even need to go there. I don't think Paraban can do that. Carl Froch, champion for a long time. He's beaten one of the guys he lost to. All right, he avenged that loss. And the other fighter that he lost to, I mean, happens to be number 2 pound for pound in boxing. So anyway, wanted to bring that up, man. These fighters, No more none of this. Oh, what did he? Who he beat? He don't even got a name like that. Canelo Alvarez is not gonna fight Demetrius Andrade. He's not gonna fight the Charlo twins right now. He's fought fighters similar to them recently, okay, and won. Lara had his opportunity, lost. Trout had his opportunity, lost. Black southpaw fighters, slick fighters, they lost to him. Whether you think they lost or not, or won the fight or got robbed, the fact of the matter is officially they lost. Neither one of these fighters beat him enough to get a clean win. And honestly, if the Charlo twins or Andre fought him too, I'm not sure if they can clearly beat Canelo. You know, they would have to knock Canelo out to win those fights, in my opinion. Because Canelo is a star, whether you like it or not. He's a star now. He's their cash cow. So I feel like Charlo's sitting there like, well, Canelo's over HBO now. What's up with that fight? Canelo is trying to fight Cotto. Cotto is trying to fight Canelo or Chavez Jr. something crazy. He's looking for super fights, big money fights. He's reaching the finish line in his career. And that's another thing too. Pacquiao, Floyd, Cotto, all these cash cow dudes, they're towards the finish line. These guys got to start getting these fights now because these guys are on their way out. Who's going to be the next star? We know Canelo's going to be one. Okay. We know Broner's going to be the next one. Okay. But what about all these other guys coming up? There's got to be more. There's got to be, some of these guys got to be pay-per-view fighters. So this is why you got to make your mark now. All of this, oh, you know, I'm trying to, you know, who's the name? You know, I'm trying to get, you know, stop trying to jump all the way to the top. I mean, you are champ. You are the champ. That's cool. You are the WBO champ. But you're not going to always get the big money fights right away. You know, sometimes you might get lucky and get one. Look at what happened with Peter Quillen, and he turned the fight down. He got a huge payday to fight Matt Korobov out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Your time is going to come, but until it comes, eliminate all competition. Alright, so I know this is a long video. I'm sorry, but I had to get that out there. You know, I need y'all to hear me and feel me on this one because these fighters, they all doing the same thing. Alright, beat everybody up. If you're the best and you think you should be, that's what Floyd did. Okay, that's what Pacquiao did. That's what all these other fighters did. Beat all the best fighters. Then when you're in a position to make decisions like that, then fine. But these guys are not in the position. I don't even think Danny Garcia is in a position because he's already made his mark at 140. But he can't even make weight for that division no more. And he's getting older. He's just going to get heavier. So he has to redo that at 147. Can he do that? There's a lot of wolves at 147. Can he do that at 147? He has the leverage now at 140. But at 147, he's just another good fighter. You know, at 147, he would barely be a top 10 fighter until he fights some of these guys and see. We got to see where he's going to be at 147. So it's like starting over. It's like being in the amateurs and then moving up to pro. You know, when you're going from 140 to 147, because there's a lot of killers up there at 147. But he's sitting back chilling like, you know, I already did whatever I had to do. I'll fight anyone, you know. I'll fight, you know, whoever he pleases to fight. He's too young for that, you know. He's too young. But, you know, he's getting paid, and, you know, listen, I respect it. He has put in work. But Andre, I don't feel like Andre put in the same work that the Charlos put up. Jamel Charlo put up. You know, and K9 might not want to fight you. He might not want to fight you. If he don't fight you, and you sitting around looking for either a fight with him or to unify the titles, or you looking for a fight with Canelo or what's his name? Canelo or Cotto. you know, or Golovkin, maybe you might not get your opportunity. So my thing is, you know, beat all these guys to where there's no denying you. All right. So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit me up. Peace.